Minutes I'm going to talk. It's kind of hot in here, so I'm sweating a little bit. But, and I'm not going to turn on that fan because it's kind of loud. So I have my nice cold ice water to drink. What matters? What's important? You know, I think that every day in my life, when I do things, I have a sense of purpose. I bring a purpose to everything I do. I move with purpose. I act with purpose. When I put videos up, I have a purpose. It's my purpose. It's subjective. It's what I think is important. That's what purpose really is. You have to believe that whatever it is you're doing is important enough to be doing. You don't really have to justify your behavior or your actions to other people. We're so used to being in this idea of justifying things. You know, I watch all this stuff about the atheist and the theist and the this, that, and the other thing, and people always have to have some logical justification for why they believe this and why they believe that, and then people make all kind of connections, really far out connections on both sides, connecting one set of beliefs with a certain set of actions. You know, it's always funny to me too how people make these really wild leaps. They say that, you know, if you believe in God, you're going to be crazy and do all kind of crazy things and fly airplanes into buildings and do suicide bombings and kill your babies and all that kind of stuff. And then other people say if you don't believe in God, you're going to be killing people and doing stuff and becoming Adolf Hitler and everything. You know, and I think all this stuff is so silly. I think it's really silly, these accusations. You know, what people believe, you really don't know what a person believes until they tell you. You could be working with somebody for, let's say, 20 years, and you never really know what their beliefs are. And you know, frankly, you really don't care. As long as they treat you well and they conduct themselves well, you don't care, do you? Do you really care what they believe? No. What you care about is the way they treat you. And what they care about is the way you treat them. You know, if somebody believes in talking squirrels, you don't care. You know, you don't care. If they have really odd reasons for doing something, you don't care, do you? But you know, people make connections. They tell stories. Well, if you believe this, you're going to do that. If you believe that, you're going to do this. You know, it's just funny how people make connections because they don't like somebody else's beliefs, so they have to make all kind of horror stories about what the other person is going to do. I think what matters, though, in life is that you have a sense of purpose in your life, you have a sense of meaning, and that you treat other people well. Treat people with dignity and respect. That's the one thing I do believe in, more than anything else. To treat my fellow human beings with dignity and respect, and even to treat the rest of the environment with dignity and respect. Not only humans, but just the rest of the earth with dignity and respect. To me, that's enough of a belief, you know. I have faith in God, and I'm not going to sit here and explain what I mean by God or go through some deep philosophical meaning. You know, you can take it any way you want to. And if people want to call me names and say I'm stupid for believing in God, fine. I mean, that's okay. If that gets you through the day and helps you, you know, then do it. Please, go right ahead and do it. But just like I said in my last video, which I put up on YouTube, I said that, you know, other people's doubt is not a problem for me. So I don't run around trying to convince people, you know, to see the world the way I see it. If you think that my way of looking at life and looking at the world is crazy, that's okay. I mean, that's perfectly okay with me. I actually don't have a problem with that. You know, as long as you respect me and I respect you, you don't harm me, I won't harm you. You know, if we had to work together, let's work together. You know, if we have to, because sometimes we have to work together. You have to work with people, You don't choose what people believe. And you can't talk people out of their beliefs, and you can't reason people out of their beliefs. And in truth, you really don't need to. You just need to respect them, and they need to respect you. To me, everything is simple. It's not the complicated thing that a lot of people like to make it out to be. You know, so much of what we think about other people is more of a creation of our imagination. It's more of, to use David Hume's term, which I just fell in love with this term, is a fiction of the mind. You know, we have so many mental fictions about other people. About, people from this country or this culture think and act this way, and they'll do this and they'll do that, and they eat their own babies, and, you know, that sort of thing. And we take any stories that we hear in the news and we highlight that. If someone from a certain culture does something from a certain area of the world, we highlight that. And if there are 20 stories about something good that they did, we just ignore that. People have mental filters. That's one thing I've learned. We all have something which I like to refer to as mental filters. If there's a certain group we don't like, we only pay attention to the negative stories about them, and we ignore anything good. And if there's a group that we do like, we only pay attention to the good things, and we ignore everything bad. I think that the truth of the matter is we see what we want to see. I mean, that's my point. We just see what we want to see. This video doesn't really have a theme to it, and I don't even know if I'm going to put a title on it. I might just simply say the video without a theme. But that's all I wanted to say. I'm just talking, that's all. Just talking.